If you're an artist who wants to get your work into retail stores, then this is where you start. I've been selling my work locally for over a decade, and right now I'm in 10 shops around Portland. Today I'm packing a big wholesale order. I'm gonna walk you through everything I've learned, how I pick which stores to approach, my pitch strategy, the difference between wholesale and consignment orders, the mistakes I've made, and exactly how much I make per month from these retail sales. I've been making these celebrity glitter buttons for about 8 years now. They feature paparazzi photos, mugshots, photos that have become memes. I grew up in LA in the late 90s and early thousands, and for me, this was peak trashy celebrity culture, so this is like in my blood. And these buttons have sold great online and at craft fairs. So a few years ago, I started pitching them to shops around Portland. This order is for Flutter PDX, a shop that I love in the Mississippi district. They survived the pandemic, they support local artists, and they've carried my work for years. And unlike some of the other stores, Flutter works with me on a wholesale basis rather than consignment. So let's talk about what that means and which one might work best for you. Here's the difference between wholesale and consignment in a nutshell. In wholesale, the store buys your work outright, usually at 50% of your retail price. So the pros of this is that you're paid upfront. There's no risk of lost or stolen items, and it's really simple bookkeeping for you. The cons can be that you can get a lower per item profit, and the stores might order from you less frequently. And for consignment, the store pays you only when your work sells. So usually 50% for the artist and then 50% for the store. The pros are that you can get a higher per item payout, but only when your work sells. And this also means that there might be a longer display time and you might get more exposure. Some of the cons are that you get paid later, and then you also have to track inventory, and there's more of a risk for you as the artist if your item gets stolen or lost or damaged. Wholesale actually works best for my low-priced, high-volume items like my buttons, but I work with most of these stores on a consignment basis, which I do want to change in the future. I'd like to have more of these shops carry my work on a wholesale basis rather than a consignment basis. This is because my items are really small and shopliftable, so I worry about the buttons that I make getting stolen, because these I just lose money on, even though I've done the work to make them. If you're a jewelry maker or you make clothing, then consignment might make more sense for you, because these items tend to be higher priced and they're more one-of-a-kind pieces. When I first started, I didn't have a wholesale minimum. In fact, I didn't even know what this was. And if you don't know either, minimum order quantity, also known as an MOQ, is the smallest quantity of a product that a wholesaler, so you as the artist, will sell to a retailer, so the store, in a single order. In the beginning, I was just happy for any order, but hand delivering 25 buttons at a time, no. Not worth my time, not worth the gas. I quickly realized I needed to have a wholesale minimum. So I set my minimum to 100 buttons per order, and now my minimum is 200 buttons per order. It's okay to set boundaries with shops because stores expect it, and it's better for you as a seller. Keep your pricing consistent and keep your quality high. This makes the shops able to trust you pretty much, so that they can depend on you to always provide them with the highest quality goods at the price. Another thing, make ordering easy for them. You want them to say yes. All of my work is on Etsy, so I can easily send them a link to my shop that has all my pictures and the information about each listing. This makes it easy for them to pick and choose what they want to carry. But if you don't have an Etsy shop, you can make a simple line sheet. So what a line sheet is, it's a document used for wholesale orders, especially in the fashion industry, that provides a concise overview of a product line. So for you, this could mean a PDF that has a table of product photos and the pricing and your contact information. Okay, so how do you even get your work into stores? Like, how do you even make the first contact? How do you decide which store you want to sell? There are certain things that I look for when I'm approaching a store to sell. So first off, as I said before, make sure that your work is a good fit. Make sure to look around the store and see if your goods would fit their brand and their aesthetic. And then the second important thing is that you want to make sure that the store is open at least 6 days a week. So this just gives you more of a chance for you to sell your work. You want to make sure that they're doing their part to sell the work that is in their store. And then you also want to make sure that the store has good foot traffic. All these things ensure that they're going to be able to sell your work quickly. Once you've zeroed in on these things, you can make your pitch. Approach the person at the front counter and remember that they might not be the buyer, but they do have the contact information of the buyer. The goal of your pitch is to get the contact information of the buyer. Here is a framework for a pitch that's worked for me in the past. Hi, I'm a local artist. I make X. Here are some samples of my work. I think X would be a great fit for your store. Can you please connect me with the buyer? Also, make sure that you get the name of the person that you are speaking with so that when you do email the buyer, you can reference this person that you spoke to. Once you get the contact information of the buyer, you can reach out to them and make the pitch to the buyer. It can go something like this. Hi, my name is X. I'm a local artist and I make X. Here are some photos and information about my work. I spoke to Y at your lovely store and they gave me your contact information. I think X would be a great fit for your shop. What do you think? In your following correspondences with the buyer, you can learn more about how they work with vendors, if they work with their vendors on a consignment versus a wholesale arrangement, and when do they pay? So is it quarterly? Is it monthly? And also how do they pay? So is it through Venmo? Do they send checks? Is it direct deposit? Let's get into the nitty-gritty financials of how this works for me right now. So all these numbers are an average from the past 12 months. So my numbers can vary wildly from month to month. I can sell a lot during the holiday months. So in November and December, my income from retail sales can really jump up. But during slower months like September, it can really slow down. For example, during some months, I'm looking at less than $50 a month in retail sales. But sometimes during the holiday months, I can make upwards of $1,000 per month. So here is a breakdown of the different stores that I work with and how much I make on average per month from each store and whether I work with them on a consignment or a wholesale basis. As you can see, it is definitely not a full-time income, but it does complement my online sales on Etsy and Amazon. So here are the things that I wish I knew sooner. Don't make your pitch until you visited the store first. This is super important so that you can see if your items will match the brand of the store. So I learned this the hard way with a shop called Forage. They have a cozy, nature-inspired mushroom and fern aesthetic. And the owner curates a really beautiful selection of items. But my neon, pop culture, celebrity glitter buttons really just didn't fit the vibe or their brand. On top of that, I walked in cold with no samples. I tried to show pictures of my work on my phone. The Wi-Fi wasn't working. It was just pretty clumsy and awkward. Don't show up empty-handed. Bring in your samples. People love to touch things, and this makes them more encouraged to say yes. Don't skimp on quality. This is so important. My early buttons looked terrible because I was using glitter that was too chunky and my printer was really not up to par, but I've since upgraded and now my buttons look so much better than they used to. And finally, don't pitch when you're in a bad mood. Relationships matter and shop owners want reliable, friendly vendors to work with. If you're having a bad day, get a coffee, take a nap, and then go back. Selling in local shops won't make you rich overnight, but it does build up a community and diversifies your income, and it gets your art in front of people who wouldn't otherwise find you online. Here's an interesting story. I used to carry my work at a store called Frog. The owner of Magic Box Vending happened to be browsing at their store and saw my buttons there. Magic Box Vending is not quite a store, but what they do is they install these really cool vending machines in bars and venues that have Dolly Parton pins, they have little tchotchkes and little knickknacks and tarot cards. So the owner of Magic Box Vending reached out to me and now I sell my buttons in over 30 of their locations. So you never know which shop will open the next door for you. So this is why selling in retail stores is really important, is because you can get your work out there. My number one recommendation is just start. Be friendly, be professional, keep your quality high, prepare, and make it easy for the stores to say yes. If you are curious about my buttons, or if you own your own store and you want to carry my buttons, please check out my Etsy shop. The links are in the description box below. Now stay tuned for my next video about how I became a commercially successful artist and how I was able to quit my job. Now go and get your work out into the world.